Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to uncover secrets hidden in plain sight, especially when companies are not really telling us much. Get ready because today we are diving into STEM Incorporated's latest filing, and it looks like they might be trying to sneak something past us. We have a rather interesting little report here from STEM Incorporated. It is not a typical earnings report telling us about how much money they made, but rather some housekeeping about how their shareholder meetings will run. But even in these seemingly dull updates, there is always a story to be told. So stick around as we decode what this really means for the company and its investors. And before we dive in, if you appreciate getting straight insights from these corporate documents, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Also, we have a Discord community linked in the description below where we discuss these filings in real time. So this report is dated the 15th of October 2025, but it is talking about things that happened on that day. It is a current report. The company telling us all this is STEM Incorporated. They are a company that is incorporated in Delaware, and they are listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol STEM. Alright, so the main event here is something called an amendment to the company's bylaws. Now, bylaws are basically the internal rulebook for how a company operates. Think of them like the constitution for a country, but for a business, this specific amendment is about how many shareholders need to show up for a meeting to officially happen. On the 15th of October 2025, the big bosses at STEM incorporated the board of directors. They officially agreed to change these bylaws. And here is the juicy bit: they reduced the number of shareholders who need to be present for a shareholder meeting to be considered valid. Before this change, they needed a majority, which means more than half of all the voting power of the stock. Now they only need 1/3. This is a pretty significant reduction. Imagine needing over 50 people at a party, and now only 17 are needed to make it official. So why the change? The company says they have been having trouble getting enough people to show up to their shareholder meetings. This is because their shareholders are spread out and there are just so many of them. When you have a lot of shareholders who are not all concentrated in one place, it can be tough to get them all to attend or send in their votes. They are basically saying that if they cannot get enough people to show up, the meeting has to be postponed. And postponing meetings costs money. They have to pay for the venue again, maybe pay people to try and get more shareholders to vote or attend, and it just creates a mess and wastes everyone's time, including the management's. So to avoid these costs and disruptions, they are making it easier to have a valid meeting. Now this might seem like a minor detail, but it has real implications. For companies with a lot of small shareholders or a widely dispersed shareholder base, it can be very hard to reach a quorum. By lowering it to 1/3, STEM Incorporated is significantly increasing the likelihood that their shareholder meetings will be able to conduct business. This means important decisions can be made more efficiently without the risk of needing to reschedule. From a shareholder's perspective, this ensures that the company can keep moving forward with its business. On the other hand, it also means that a smaller percentage of the total shareholder base can now make decisions for everyone. If you have a significant stake in STEM Incorporated, it is something to be aware of. The official document detailing this change, the actual amendment itself, is filed as Exhibit 3 to this report. This is where all the legalese is written out in full. And then we get to the part that lists all the exhibits. This is standard for these types of reports. Finally, there is the cover page interactive data file. This is basically a digital marker that helps make the filing machine readable for financial data systems. It is not something that contains any juicy narrative, but it is important for the electronic filing system. And of course, we have the signatures. This is where the company officers sign off on the report confirming its accuracy. Here, Sol Alarel is the Chief Legal Officer and Secretary has signed on behalf of STEM Incorporated. It is dated the 16th of October 2025. So what is my take on this filing? STEM Incorporated is making it easier for their shareholder meetings to happen. This is a practical change to avoid logistical headaches and costs. It is not a sign of financial distress or a major strategic shift. Instead, it is more about operational efficiency. The risk here is minimal for the company, but as a shareholder, it means that decisions can be influenced by a smaller portion of ownership at meetings. It is a move towards more reliable governance in the face of a dispersed shareholder base. I see no immediate major strengths or weaknesses stemming from this specific amendment alone. The opportunity is simply that they can now conduct necessary business more smoothly. The notable risk, if you can even call it that, is that if you are a large shareholder who is often unable to attend or vote, you might feel your voice is diluted further. Overall, this is a procedural update, not a business transformation. Alright, that is our decoding of this STEM Incorporated filing. What is your take on this change to their bylaws? Does it make you feel more or less confident about the company, S governance, or future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate documents. And remember to check out the Discord server in the description for more ongoing discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.